A seismic shift has undertaken in South Asian geopolitics, viewers. China has officially entered the Teesta Project. Some reports indicate so. What seems like development aid may now soon be becoming something more strategic. Chinese ambassador has announced, according to some reports, that not only is it funding the long-delayed Teesta water management project, but it's also building 3 major hospitals along the India-Bangladesh border. This includes the 1,000-bed gift facility just miles from India's sensitive 22-kilometer wide Siliguri Corridor, also known as Chicken's Neck. It will be in the Nilpha-mari near the Teesta and perilously close to the Indian border. The Teesta serves as a lifeline, remember, for millions in West Bengal. But behind the smiles and aid lies the unmistakable shadow of Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative, a strategic chess game where every move aims to redraw the balance of power. What will be New Delhi's options? We decode. But first up, as always, the big questions on our debate. First up, in terms of what we are looking at, is China's investment in healthcare truly humanitarian? There are 3 hospitals, but what really are the intentions of China here? We decode. Next up, is India's water security now becoming vulnerable after China's Teesta inclusion? Next up, the big question, will China's gift hospitals, 3 of them, be used for strategic surveillance by Beijing because they are so close to the border? How will China's growing ties with Dhaka impact India's historical influence? The country is going through turmoil. There is complete vulnerability. There is vacuum of power as well. How will all of this be utilized by China? We decode that. Dr. PK Mishra, former ADG BSF, joins me on the broadcast along with Faisal, Mahmud, who's Minister Press of Bangladesh High Commission, and we also have Veena Sikri, as always, former High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh. In fact, let me start with you, Dr. Mishra, which is that some of these developments and reports that are coming in are disturbing simply because they are so close to the Indian border.
Yes, I can well tell you things are very bad as far as Indo-Bangladesh border is concerned. We should tell it is not Bangladesh. It is either it is Pakistan now or it is mini Pakistan now. The China has, in fact, Muhammad Yunus has laid a red carpet for China, inviting them to take over the Teesta project and constructing 3 hospitals so close to border. With that, I will tell you at Lal Mandir Haat, they are now modernizing the earlier World War II airfield. And in fact, I can tell you at Chatgaon also, the economic development of Chatgaon is also being taken up by China. And the latest input, I can tell you that PLA officers are available, are staying in 1 5-star hotel in Chatgaon, which has been confirmed, and things are very bad because
that's an important point you're making, sir. That's an important point about growing Chinese presence in the region.
Yes, and with that, I can well tell you that it's not only that Bangladesh, you see, as far as the Northeast is concerned, it is not only that in our Siliguri Corridor, they will be keeping an eye. They are keeping an eye on whole of Northeast, including Mizoram and Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh.
Let me get Veena Sikri on this, and then I'm going to get Faisal Mahmud as well to respond to what your observations may be. Veena Sikri, respond to what Dr. Mishra just said in terms of the apprehensions about some of these Chinese projects. And in fact, the questions that we're also raising, that are these, even the gift hospitals, strategic in nature because they are close to the Indian border, they will allow surveillance, greater Chinese presence, and also the fact that Teesta is important for millions of people in Bengal as well.
Let me tell you quite clearly that these so-called decisions that have been announced by the interim regime of Bangladesh, which is an illegal, unconstitutional government, these are naming those very projects on which India had already conveyed to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina our deep concerns, our security red lines on these projects. And it was on the basis of India's concerns and security red lines on these projects that the government of Bangladesh, under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, had decided against giving the Teesta water management project to China or against the construction of a hospital. That time even Panchagar was being talked about, now Nilpha-mari is being talked about. And these decisions by this illegal, unconstitutional government are deliberate acts of provocation. Are very deliberate acts of provocation. They are trying to annoy the Indian government with every step they take. They're not even an elected regime. They are there by a regime change operation.
Yes.
They're refusing to for elections. Everybody is asking for early elections, but they are asking, it is a completely situation of deliberate provocation.
That's an important, the observation that you've made. And let me get Faisal Mahmud on that, which is that an interim government, should it be taking decisions that are so strategic and long-term in nature? Shouldn't those be left to the next elected government? Faisal Mahmud?
Thank you, Gaurie. I'll answer to your question, but let me clarify one thing. Teesta originates from northern Sikkim, and it flows through Bangladesh and goes to Bay of Bengal. So it's essentially a river between two countries, right? So China shouldn't have come into the equation if India shares give the fair share of Teesta water to Bangladesh, so that the dispute lies there. Now you understand that Bangladesh lies in the downstream of Teesta. So whatever Bangladesh does in its part of Teesta, it likely wouldn't affect India ecologically or any other way, because a downstream country cannot affect an upstream country. So India's concern is about security, understandably, because if Chinese presence get increased in Bangladesh, India obviously have the right to be agitated. But I don't think Bangladesh is in a position to, pose any sort of security concern to India, because it is not their, it is not Bangladesh's intention to pose any security concern.
PK Mishra wants to respond there in terms of the security challenges that lie.
I will tell you, I will repeat that it is a security risk. Not only that, they are modernizing Mongla port, and it's in Chatgaon. I will tell you, in fact, our persons are there at Chatgaon, and they are keeping a watch, and I know how we are keeping a watch. The PLA has already, it is not that they will, they have penetrated at Chatgaon, and Chinese weapons are coming to Chatgaon and being given to Bangladesh army for training. It has already been started. Number two, just order. China, in addition with development and modernization of Mangala port, they have requested China for acquiring fighters jet. And
okay, so what you're saying is arms, technology, as well as physical Chinese presence. That's what you're saying. Faisal Mahmud, respond. These are not apprehensions. Okay, everybody can't speak at the same time. Faisal Mahmud, these are not apprehensions. These are real changes that are happening on ground, and it impacts India directly.
Okay, so I'll pose a question. Do you understand what Teesta Project, what Chinese proposal is about? It's about Bangladesh is a downstream country, and we're not getting fair share of waters from Indian side. So that's why in monsoon and other season, it gets flooded. So we just want to, the whole project is about widening our riverbed so that the monsoon season, it doesn't get flooded. It's a river management project. And I think it's a fair deal from Bangladesh to look for other avenues other than India to make sure that our rivers don't get flooded during the monsoon. And China offers us to make sure that doesn't happen. So
Veena Sikri had a point to make. Quickly, ma'am, quickly.
Yes, my point is very clear. First of all, the distinguished person from the Bangladesh High Commission in Delhi has not answered the basic question about why an illegitimate, unconstitutional government brought in by regime change is making these.
I'll answer to it, ma'am.
No, please, let me finish what I'm saying. Secondly, it is very well known that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had made an announcement about giving this project to India, and had said clearly that this project for security concerns should go to India and not to Bangladesh. Secondly, even about the Mongla port project, which Mr. PK Mishra has spoken about, this project too was announced for giving to India. Now, these deliberate acts of provocation, one after another, that every project which was given to India is
now being given to China. Faisal Mahmud, suddenly all projects that were to come to New Delhi are now going to Beijing.
Let me answer that. During the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's visit in last June, They say that the Teesta project will go to India, and India was supposed to send a team, and he said that it will send in quick time, but that team had never arrived. You know, Sheikh Hasina was ousted on
Surprising
August,
that
so
you're
you
using
have more than 1
bureaucratic
year.
reasoning now.
That team had never arrived. That's the point. And number two, let me ask Veena Sikri ma'am's question. This government is not, this is an unelected government, that's true, but that's not, if you want to put it like that, this is an unconstitutional government, that's probably true. But you know, this government has the legitimacy of a mass uprising, which ousted a
There is
very
no mass
unpopular
uprising.
dictator.
There was no mass
Faisal, Mahmud,
uprising.
we are derailing from the larger question, which was very simple, that strategic projects which impact India directly are now being handed over to China. 30 seconds, respond to that.
In what way it is affecting India? I say that we are downstream country. It's not going to affect ecologically to India. Security concern, there is no answer to it, because you can put any words and you can spin it in any way. But the point is, Bangladesh is not posing any security concern to India. That's true.
Okay. I'm going to give
We have
30
our
seconds
own
of response to
on
Dr.
that.
Mishra. I'm running out of time completely. Dr. Mishra, very quickly.
Yes, I can well tell you that it is primarily a security risk, because Lal Manir Hat airstrip is going to be used for attack aircraft of China, and China is putting their attack aircrafts and drones at Lal Manir Hat airfield. It is very close to Chicken Neck. We have to be very
That is the
cautious on
fundamental
that.
point. That is the fundamental point why New
Yes.
Delhi should be raising more objection to this. I'm out
have
of
to
time,
deploy.
but I promise this is an issue that I'm going to come back to and address simply because of the many implications it has. And viewers, bottom line really is that China's hospital projects that we talked about may appear benevolent, but their strategic placement and alignment along with the Teesta initiative signal a deeper intent to expand influence in a region that is critical to India's security, to its geopolitical environment. China calls it a partnership. India sees a provocation. As Bangladesh stands in the middle, the Teesta may now flow through a far more turbulent current. This is more than a river. It's the likely next front in the great Asian rivalry.